This program is rated GE. Content carried in here is suitable for general family viewing.
Good afternoon, and of course, many thanks for joining us this very lovely Saturday. Remember, this is just like as always, every Saturday, it's time to put on those sporty shoes and of course tune in for the next 2 hours or something about, so that we can inform you and of course entertain you with matter sports from athletics, football, rugby and everything in between. And talking about motorsports, in this particular week, to be precise, we are talking about World Athletics Championship in Tokyo. And of course, Team Kenya and our team, of course, in various disciplines. When you talk about the marathon, we have 800 meters, 3,000 steeplechase, 1,500 meters, 10,000 and 5,000. And so far, Kenya has already won 4 gold, 1 silver and 2 bronze in that manner, and 4 of the golds is courtesy of our ladies who are really flying Kenyan flag very high in Tokyo, Tokyo World Championship. And of course, one of the most notable names, and of course a name that should actually bring some sort of joy to Kenyan, especially those who are athletics enthusiasts. I'm talking about the 3,000 meter steeplechase. This was won by Faith Cherotich, and she broke record actually. She set a new world record by just 1 second. That is quite an improvement. Remember, in the Paris Olympics, she won bronze, and of course she now upgraded from bronze to gold. And she has been having a very impressive performance in the Diamond Leagues, winning in 2024 and 2025. And of course, she continued with that momentum and projection in this World Athletics Championship, winning gold in the process. And this is now the future. She's very young at 21. And of course, you can see what she's doing, setting the tempo, the pace, and even encouraging others that it's actually possible to achieve and of course emulate what others have done in that particular race. And still in this 3,000 meter steeplechase, Kenya won bronze in men's category, courtesy of Edmond Serem, another very youngster who transitioned from juniors now to seniors, winning against the top de la creme in this particular field. And at his age, and of course posting very impressive performance like that, winning a bronze, given the fact that this is his first senior assignment for him as far as the World Championship is concerned, then this is just a sign of better days to come when this 3,000 meter steeplechase race is concerned. It has been dominated by Moroccan, that is Siofan El Bakali, for quite a while, from the Uruguay in 2022 all the way to the Tokyo Olympics. Then we had the Budapest, then Paris Olympic. All this has been won by Moroccan Siofan El Bakali until this particular championship, the Tokyo World Athletics Championship, that was won by another fellow. Apart from him, then Kenya came third in that particular manner. And of course, it shows that if we keep on trusting in young athletes, the upcoming athletes. Remember, Edmond Serem represented the country in the World Under-20 Championship, then he transitioned to seniors. Same case to Faith Cherotich from juniors, World Athletics Championship, that is Under-20 Championship, and now transitioning now to the seniors. And now they are posting these impressive results. So it tells you that we can actually believe in the future. Same case to the world, now the world champion, the 10,000 meters world champion, that is Beatrice Chebet. Her story is just in similar fashion. She's still young at 24, and of course she's conquering the world. Today, the 5,000 meters women final will be between Beatrice Chebet and of course three Kenyan, Beatrice Chebet, then we have our very own Faith Kipyegon in that particular field, and each of them will be competing for that one prize, the gold. They met the last time in Paris Olympics. Then Beatrice got the better of Kipyegon. This time round, they are meeting yet again in the World Athletics Championship in Tokyo, and it's just a matter of time. Remember that particular race will be beginning at exactly 3:29 East African time. That is 3:29 p.m. East African time, and of course we'll be bringing you up to speed with the latest, just between two of the most decorated athletes, the female athletes in the country, who will reign supreme over the other. But don't forget, make no mistake, that particular field is really a packed field filled with stars from other countries. We have very fierce competition from the likes of Ethiopia, where we have Segei in that mix. Remember, currently she is the world champion in that particular race, and she'll be hoping to defend her crown, and she'll post a very dominant competition just to make sure that she retains her title. But then we have emerging talents like the likes of Beatrice Chebet. We have Faith Kipyegon, who will be venturing into this particular race for the first time in her career. Will she manage to actually challenge the top guns and set yet another record, besides setting 4 straight world championship record? And of course, this is just one of the most impressive performance that we have seen from Faith Kipyegon. It's a moment that we'll live forever to remember, as long as we live. And of course, she has really entertained us, broken a lot of records, trying to go beyond the limit that probably many people thought it will not be possible. At this particular time, she's just 31, but winning 4 straight world championship. Well, then that indeed, we can only sum it up into one word: the GOAT, the greatest of all time, at least in his modern age, and of course, which we have been privileged to watch, even as she takes the world by storm and surprise, setting records, race and race. And we hope that she will surpass the 4 record, and of course maybe march all the way to the 5 one. That is in the near future, should time allow. And of course, we'll be eager to see how she'll now be transitioning from probably the middle distance race to maybe the long races, given the fact that now she's trying another race, that is 500 meters. Maybe after 15,000 meters, will she now go into 5,000, 10,000, or will probably transition to road races? That is something that we'll be eager to see how this particular event will actually fold, or rather turn out to be. And we are still eyeing for, probably we are still wishing that Team Kenya can bring more golds. So far we have 4, but we are expecting probably another one in the 5,000 meters. That is the ladies category. We are still expecting probably another gold in the 800 meters for men and women. Remember, the 800 meters race, the final one for women, will still be happening today. So probably, if the good tidings are on our favor, then maybe we might be bagging another 2 gold medals. So in the 800 meters, Kenya will be represented by, that is in the 800 meters women category, by our very own, that is Mary Mora. In the 800 meters men's category, that is our very own Emmanuel Wanyonyi will be on that, and of course she'll be eyeing, or rather he will be eyeing, to make sure that at least he clinch his first World Athletics Championship gold. Currently, he won gold in the 800 meters men, that is in Paris. And of course, in Budapest, he came second behind Canada's, that is Arop. And of course, they meet yet again, but this time round, given the statistics and of course the impressive forms that he has been posting in the Diamond League, then probably we might be expecting something of similar when it comes to this particular race, and of course at least win Kenya another gold, and probably from the men's side, because so far all the golds have been won by women, and we'll love to see even men rising to the occasion. But our at least let's say our hope for bagging a medal in the 10,000 meters and 5,000 meters in the men's category, well, we'll have to wait for probably another time because Kenya failed to actually meet up the expectation given the strong dominance of other athletes. And what is really surprising is that these particular races were a preserve for either Kenya or Ethiopia. Predominantly, they are known to be one of the most decorated and of course iconic runners when it comes to the long races. It's so funny that the men's marathon was won by someone, by at least it came to East Africa by Tanzania, athletes from Tanzania, but we had some athletes from Europe actually challenging for this. There was no podium finish for either Kenya or Ethiopia in this regard, and that really shocked a lot of athletics fans and enthusiasts. Is it about time now we have a discussion based on moving forward how we should now embrace the new norm? Because what we thought that it is our race is now being challenged, and this is also pretty much similar in other races like the short distance races, the likes of 1500 meters for men precisely. That is another area that a lot of what we call the preserve of East Africa fair between Ethiopia and of course Kenya. At this time round, it's being dominated by other athletes from other parts of the continent, and that calls for concern. So maybe is it about time now we go back to the drawing board, alafu tuanze reclaim our races? What are some of the tactics that these fellows wanatumia to beat? Should we now borrow a leaf from them ndo tukue at a very competitive stage and at par with the rest of athletics? Because nowadays everything is about technology. You reinvent, you learn, you improve. So holding on to the old tradition is no longer something that we should embrace at this particular time. We need to change with the current trend, and of course embrace the new technology, the new way of doing things, because football is technology. Nowadays athletics, a lot of technology, a lot of study, and just to improve yourself. So each time you need to improve yourself. Matters to do with altitude, when it comes to heat, how to adapt to different environment. Those are some of the things that these new athletes from other regions are now embracing. Some come to maybe Africa, Kenya, and train with our very own athletes. Then when they meet in these very competitive races, they are able now to compete with them and even to outsmart them. So is it about time pia sisi tuanze to explore another new ways of mechanism? But I'm impressed with what our ladies are doing. I'm concerned with the performance of now the male. Hapo sasa ndo kizungumkuti iko. Anyway, so this is all about Matters Athletics. Remember today, especially in the evening session, we have a lot of activities that concerns us as Kenyans. Tuko na 800 meters final, tuko na 500 meter final, and of course 5,000, I beg your pardon, 5,000 meters final. Na hapa ndo tunataka kujua kama gold inakuja finally home, another gold. Remember so far tuko na 4 from Paris Jepchirchir, from Beatrice Chebet, Faith Kipyegon, Faith Cherotich, all Those are gold. Will Mary Mora bring gold? Will the likes of Emmanuel Wanyonyi, Beatrice Chebet, and of course Faith Kipyegon add another gold to the medal tally so far that Kenya has? And how is our performance when you compare to the last edition in Budapest? Are we really improving in terms of medal tally? Ama bado kidogo, we need to pull our socks. So these are some of the discussions that we'll be having later on our show. And of course, that is athletics. And of course, now this is the return of the Football Kenya Federation Premier League, the 2025-2026 season. It kicked off officially yesterday with KCB winning against Tusker FC. And of course, that was their opener match. Remember now, KCB have acquired the services of former Tusker FC coach Robert Matano, and the Bunkers outsmart the Brewers in their opener, winning 2-0 against Tusker FC in their opening match of the Football Kenya Federation Premier League. Today we have a couple of matches lined up for today, and of course even tomorrow, this particular weekend, as the league now takes or rather the league kicks off officially this weekend. Now the Super League will kick off officially next week from 28th of September 2025. The decision was made after the National Super League management and of course stakeholders held a meeting with the Football Kenya Federation just to try and resolve some of the pending issues, and the decision now to postpone the reopening of the National Super League to the 28th of September was reached to give time for pending case that was filed in the Sports Tribunal. Once that case is heard and determined, now it will pave way for the kick-off of the 2025-2026 National Super League season, because the decision of that particular outcome will affect the fixture of the National Super League. So that's why the reopening of the league was postponed now to 28th of September 2025. So that is as far as the Football Kenya Federation Premier League is concerned. And remember, we still have a couple of matches even in the English Premier League lined up for today. Early kickoff between Liverpool and Everton, the Merseyside derby. That particular match is 2 minutes underway. Early kickoff that began at exactly 2:30 p.m. Remember, today we have a big match, and that will be forming the basis of our discussion and of course the question of the day, the battle of the Titan, if you ask me, between two of the most decorated teams in the English Premier League, Manchester United against Chelsea. Well, when these two teams meet, normally the results most of the time is a draw. At least I can tell you without fear of doubt, tumeona in the past probably 10 meetings, madraws zimekuwa kadhaa. And another worrying statistics for Chelsea fans. The last time Chelsea will win Old Trafford, nani anaweza kumbuka? Imekwanga trouble to win at Old Trafford. Given the current form of Manchester United, probably maybe leo vitu inaweza change ama hatujajua, lakini all time season either Manchester United wako high or low. Winning at Old Trafford imekuwa a little bit tricky for Chelsea, at least in the last 10 fixtures. Again, that's another very important statistics, and I'm talking to the investors, wale wenye wanataka to put their money where their mouth is. Now you know how to bet, like at least you have some sort of information that will help you in this one. But this is football. 90 minutes is the official time allocated for this, and a lot can happen in football within those 90 minutes. And it's a new season, new strategies, new mechanism. Both teams are eager to bounce back from defeat to make a statement. Manchester United have had a very bad season. Let me say bad season as far as from the first match until where we are today. Their opening of the 2025 season has not been impressive. Same case to Chelsea, pia wamekuwa na their ups and down. Remember, this is a team that is coming at the backdrop of a 3-1 defeat against Bayern Munich in the UEFA Champions League, so they have a point to prove this time round. Same case to Manchester United. The pressure is on head coach, that is Ruben Amorim, to make a statement. So will this be their moment to bounce back and make a statement, or will this be a moment for Chelsea to bounce back from defeat and of course a draw that they posted last weekend against Brentford? Now that's a big question, and we'll wait to see how the event will unfold. Remember, that particular match will be kicking off exactly at 7:30 East African time, and time will tell. Anyway, so I want us to take a look at some of the stories that will be forming the basis of our show today. And remember, you can keep talking. You can keep on talking to us on all of our social media platforms. We are coming to you live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. You can tweet us or X us on X at KUTV_Kenya, at AUMA events, the hashtag to use on the spot, and we'll be sure to sample all of their feedback during and at the tail end of our show today. So let's take a look at some of the stories that will be forming the basis of our show today. Right, so let's begin with matters athletics. 3 times Olympic world champion Faith Kipyegon won Kenya her 3rd gold in the ongoing World Athletics Championship in Tokyo, clocking 3 minutes 52.15 seconds to win her 4th world title in the women 1500 meters race, extending her dominance on the global stage. Kipyegon outpaced Dorcas Ewoi, who produced a breakthrough performance, surging to silver in a personal best time of 3 minutes 54.92 seconds, and Australia's Jessica Hull, who settled for bronze, while Nelly Chepchirchir narrowly missed the podium in 4th place. 5,000 and 10,000 Olympic champion Beatrice Chebet ended Kenya's 24-year wait for the gold in 10,000 meters race, while Faith Chepkoech outclassed Kenyan-born Bahrain international Winfried Yavi to win gold for Kenya in the 3,000 meters steeplechase. Pure joy, wanasema furaha tupu. Our women doing the magic and winning, making Kenya proud, flying Kenyan flag high in Tokyo. And of course, just like I told you, we could actually be counting another 5th medal or even 6th one, because we have 2 finals. We have the 5,000 meters finals, and the Kenyan representative in that particular race, we have the queen of 10,000 meters, Beatrice Chebet, the queen of 15,000 meters, 1,500 meters, that is Faith Kipyegon in that particular race. Then in the 800 meters women race, we have our very own Mary Moraa in that particular race. So should things work out in Kenyan favor, maybe tutakuwa tunaongelea probably 6 gold, and who knows, maybe a silver and a bronze somewhere. So it's just a matter of wait and see, and of course we'll be here to update you as the event unfolds there in Tokyo. All right, now, so from matters athletics, now let's switch gears to football. Football Kenya Federation has announced a revised prize money for the league champions for the upcoming season. In the revised package, the winners will walk away with a whopping 15 million, tripling the previous amount, where league winners have settled for 5 million, with the runners-up set to bag 3 million, and second runners-up will receive 2 million Kenyan shillings. FKF President Hussein Mohammed and said the federation will contribute 10 million shillings into the kitty, with an equal amount coming from the league title sponsor.
The enhancement of the prize money is a very, very big boost to the local teams. As you may have known, in the past we paid about 5 million shillings to the league champion. Now the prize money, thanks to SportPesa, has moved to a total of 20 million, with the federation sourcing for the balance. 10 will be from SportPesa, 10 will be from the federation and our other partners, where 15 million will go to the champions, and then the 5 million will be distributed to the first runner-up and second runner-up.
SportPesa, we are coming here as partners, and that's one of the key things: how to promote the football, how to make sure it goes to the fans, how to do all that. If you were talking to a different sponsor, they would have quantified that amount and put it as a figure. For example, they say to market the league, you spend 100 million, and that would have been part of the check. What we have put in the check is what is going to the federation. Remember, we'll have our costs as well, whereby we are going to be promoting the league, and as I said, we want to discuss with especially KBC to ensure that the free-to-air games, because Azam is the broadcast sponsor, but we need to have some free-to-air games that are going on our local TV channels, so that fans who are not paying for pay TV can access the games. So that's one of the things we'll do. Secondly, again, fan experiences, and that's what you're mentioning, whereby other than what is being broadcast, what do we do to encourage people that going to the stadium is a fun experience, like what people now recently rediscovered with Chan. It's always been a fun experience, but it has never been put out there that you can go to the stadium and have fun. Suddenly with Chan, people have realized that football is a very fun experience to go to. And even in our league, that experience remains the same. Of course, unless we start seeing tear gas. I'm sure we will not see tear gas for some time. But that's what we want to do as SportPesa. Engage people who are also strong on social media, so that they show that the game is as good as Chan when they.
All right, by the way, that is a very improved package to triple that amount. Then that is the right step towards the right direction. And we need more. Probably, maybe we should be talking about a team receiving, even the winners of the league receiving up to 50 million. And even that 50 million is not enough. But 15 million is a right step towards the right direction, and we should encourage such partnership that will improve the welfare of our league and even the players. And the league has been branded, by the way, from the Football Kenya Federation Premier League. Now it's SportPesa League, at least for this particular season. So zoea hiyo mapema, just in case ujipate umeslip kidogo, get on the right track. All right, still matters football. The Football Kenya Federation, FKF Leagues and Competition Committee held a meeting with the National Super League clubs to finalize preparation for the 2025-2026 season. The club and leagues officials reached an unanimous decision to postpone the start of the 2025-2026 FKF Super League by 1 week to the weekend of September 27 to 28. The 2025-2026 National Super League now aims for vibrant, well-supported campaign when it kicks off the final weekend of September.
Today we had gathered here to have a preview of what happened last season, what were the good things that took place, what are the areas of improvement, what do we do better for this season, because as a department, as a federation, it was important that we sit down with our teams so that we have a better league, because our intention is to improve. improve every season, and that is why we sat here today, to look on how to improve on the season we had 2024-2025. In our deliberations, we've also agreed with the teams that we shall push the commencement of the league to the 27th of this month to allow the teething issues, including a matter that is before the Sports Dispute Tribunal, where we expect a ruling on Friday, the 19th, so that we know it has an effect on the fixtures, so that we can implement those effects. We have agreed to push the kickoff start to the 27th. That will give us a smooth kickoff of the league and will enable teams also to prepare accordingly, knowing their opponents and knowing their budgets, so that then we do not have the challenge we had last season where a determination was made and a team had to be removed midway the season. So that is one of the interventions we've made today.
As a National Super League clubs, we appreciate the Federation for convening this meeting of the pre-season so that we could come and talk to one another on how to run the league, which is coming 2025-2026. One of the most critical part why the chairman and the CEOs of the National Super League were here was the matter of the wide coverage of the league. As you all know, the National Super League is the one which goes at the entire country, and so the costs is quite high. So we wanted to talk with the federation so that we could agree on how best clubs also could get assistance so that the league could be run in a professional way, in a professional manner. We could be able to sustain the league up to the end without giving all the walkovers. So it was critical that we have this meeting with the federation so that we could see and have a win-win situation.
I think the biggest resolution that we have come up with from this meeting is packaging of individual teams first of all, and then of course packaging the wider body, which is the FKF and of course the NSL. So with so doing, it will also attract sponsorship for the individual teams and even bigger sponsorship for the league itself.
All right. That is a very crucial meeting between the stakeholders and, of course, the management of the National Super League as far as laying down the agenda and, of course, the shape and the manner this particular league should be taking when it kicks off officially on 27th of September 2025. I'm talking about that is next weekend. And one of the key agenda of the discussion is how to package the league so that it can attract investors, of course, sponsors and even funds, because football is all about branding and, of course, the welfare of players and footballers in that manner. And even the club itself depends on the input of sponsors, how much they put into the league that matters at the end of the day. And of course, a well-packaged league and of course with well mechanism in place, then it attracts a lot of sponsors, and that is the discussion that we should be having if we want to elevate our leagues, be it the National League, be it the top tier league, and even the grassroots football level. So we need to come up with a well-organized frames and structure that can attract sponsors, investors, and even funds so that we can grow our football as a nation. So that was a very important stakeholder meeting, and we hope that the resolutions that were made during that particular meeting will be implemented so that it should not be just another story. Tumezoea story mingi sana, and it's about time sasa pia sisi to pull up our socks. Kama kuna one thing that Chan imetufunza, that actually fans wanapenda football, but they love football yenye iko well organized, yenye iko na structure and mechanism, yenye iko with a clear management system. If you do that, then story na fan base, that will be a thing of the past, because clearly, in fact, it has been proven Kenyans wanapenda ball than even our neighbors, Tanzania or even Uganda. You could see during the CHAN final, it's not Kenya playing, but the stadium was full to capacity. So story na fan base, hiyo ni kitu tu tukijipanga tu vizuri, ligi kwetu na structure fiti, then you see worry. Anyway, so let's stay on still matters football now, and let's delve into the national, or rather national under-20 team. This is in regard to the World Cup qualifiers. Now, the national under-20 women football team will face off Ethiopia on Sunday at the Ethiopia on Sunday at Bekela Stadium, that is in Addis Ababa, before hosting the return leg on 28th of September at the Ulinzi Sports Complex in Nairobi. The winner of the aggregate will progress to the third round of the CAF qualifying for the FIFA Under-20 Women World Cup. The Jacqueline Juma-led charge departed for Ethiopia on 18th of September 2025 ahead of their FIFA Under-20 Women World Cup qualifiers.
No, we are very confident about our Under-20 girls team as they head out to Ethiopia for their qualifiers, and we are very confident that they will deliver for this country. We have taken enough steps as a federation to ensure that they are well prepared. We want to also take this opportunity to thank the government of Kenya for all the support through, of course, His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and the Cabinet Secretary of Sports, Salim Mvurya, for the support that they have extended to us over the last couple of months, which have been invaluable in terms of developing football at the national level with the national teams. As we prepare for more competitions, especially coming at the backdrop of the successful CHAN, it is my hope and of course our expectation that we will get more support from the private sector, that we will mobilize more support from other stakeholders to come and help the federation and by extension our youth realize their full potential. And I know there's so many, there's thousands and thousands of young footballers out there who are looking up to the federation and looking up to the leadership of football to be able to create a platform for them to thrive in their beloved sport. So my commitment and my office and my regime and this particular administration is to provide that enabling environment that will see the successful development of football right from the grassroots all the way to the national level and to the international stage as well. I know we have a lot of work to do in terms of developing our local leagues and competitions, and we are putting everything in place right now. And I want to urge Kenyans, this obsession that we have with foreign leagues, it's about time we now started putting support and effort into the local leagues. Kenya Premier League is a big league now, and with a new sponsorship on board, I want to ask all Kenyans to rally behind our Kenya Premier League, to rally behind our Women Premier League, to rally behind the NSL, the WNSL for women as well, the youth competitions that we are going to launch very soon, the county leagues as well. Please take ownership. Please be part of this renaissance. Be part of this journey. Be part of the solution. Mimi naona Wakenya wengi kila wakati weekend ni sijui ma foreign leagues tu, you know, and you forget we have our own to develop. And I know we are struggling with infrastructure hapa na pale, but the president has committed. We are building over 30 stadiums. We are building, you've seen the financial commitment that the ministry is putting in, the private sector that are coming now on board. Recently you saw Sport Pesa. You've seen Azam is still with us. You've seen we are trying to, we had an engagement with over 50 private sector companies that are willing to support Kenyan football. Kwa hivyo tusiangalie wa Kenya kila wakati ni kusupport ligi zingine na tunasahau ya kwamba tuko na ligi yetu hapa Kenya ambaye tunaweza kuimarisha, tunaweza kuiboresha, na hawa wachezaji wa national team wote wanatoka katika hizi ligi. Majority, if you ask the players today which clubs they play for, they come from the local leagues. 90% of the players come from our local leagues here. So why can't we rally behind the leagues, behind the competitions that are at the grassroots level. So my request is that we look at our Kenya Premier League and all the other leagues, the structure of our competitions, and get everybody to rally behind it. When you talk about other foreign leagues, and every weekend you create banter and you create talk shows and everything about other leagues, you're taking away from the Kenyan Premier League. Put that effort in developing your own. Let's be proud. Now we've shown you that we have good leadership at the federation.
Let's be proud. That is the message. And we are putting a lot of banter. Tukisupport Premier League, tunasahau Kenya, tuko na the likes of Kenya Police, Gor Mahia, FC Leopards, tuwapatie banter. And of course, banter tutawapea. Pia sisi tunataka now that let's go to talks. Now that tunasikia sponsors wanakuja on board. Now, hizo ndio vitu tunataka kuona, and I'm sure Kenyans are waiting for those, so that the banter itakuwa about now Gor Mahia playing against Kenya Police against FC Leopards against Tusker. Such discussions that are very constructive when it comes to now constructing our own leagues. Be it the football Kenya Federation Premier League, the National Super League, Division 1, Division 2, all the way from the grassroots level. That fan base and that banter is what is required to actually uplift our leagues and of course our local leagues. So it's a fair comment and statement from the Football Kenya Federation President Hussein Mohamed in regards to how we should actually view our league and how we should actually support, because support inaanza from the ground. The support system inaanzia hapo chini going up, and for so long hiyo ndo something yenye tumelack. If you do your research and studies, just a random one, a quick one, in a scale of let's say in every 10 people you meet, probably utapata only one danajua maybe anaweza name all the teams in Kenya football Premier League, na ukimuuliza about ya majuu anaweza kunemea zote paka aende na aongeze paka za championship. So the big question is why? So hiyo question ya why ni federation, the clubs, and probably pia sisi kama wa Kenya ndo tunaweza jibu. So ndo tuone charity yanze nyumbani. Charity begins at home. So tukue we can mention, tunaweza jua who is the top scorer for Kenya Premier League last season, player mgani mwenye let's say Tusker wamesign, which coach ana coach let's say Tusker, Gor. Hata sahi nikauliza who is Gor coach, Gor Mahia head coach, probably some will struggle. So tunafaa now tukue aware with what is happening in our local leagues before tujue the likes of Enzo Maresca, Amorim, all those fancy names yenye iko on our fingertips. Now we need to translate that energy to our local leagues. That is the support mechanism that these leagues unahitaji. Whenever there is a match, let's say kama yesterday we had KCB versus Tusker FC, go there, grab your ticket, enda pale, support your team, show that commitment and love, and hapo ndo league ita grow the same way we did with Chan. I think kama kuna anything yenye imetu awaken as Kenyans is that if we decide, we can really do it. During Chan you could see from young to old paka madem wanajua there is a player anaitwa Ryan Ogam, Austin Odhiambo, Brian Omondi. People knew these players. Why? Because we made it our fare to make sure at least we go to the stadium, tuna follow the lineup, tunajua nani atacheza leo, nani atacheza. Benny McCarthy was the darling of many. Kila mtu alikuwa anajua who is Benny McCarthy. Ryan Ogama alikuwa anajulikana, Austin Odhiambo, the likes of Alpha Onyango. Now that ilikuwa because tuliamua like this time round tuna focus na CHAN and tuka make it our business kwenda pale naangalia who is Ryan Ogam, naangalia Ryan Ogam, unaenda na Google kidogo naangalia Ryan Ogam alikuwa wapi, alikuwa Tusker FC last season alifunga mabao ngapi, 15, vitu kama hizo. So hizo ni free lessons on how you can actually get involved into Kenyan football, local affairs football, know your stars, know your league, and of course hapo ndo tunaanza now to upgrade slowly, and of course the performance pain is quite reflected in the national team. You saw like if the team gets proper support from the government, because for every win kulikuwa na package, and that was some of the motivation. Like unaona a lot of players walikuwa wanasema like support ya home base, support ya fans, and of course motivation ya 1 million ili to push. Those were some of the conversations that the players were actually saying after every match. So meaning if you support a team, you support my players, then pia muonyeshe yo the home fan, or rather so in this case like if you are a Gor fan, go out, support your team. That support matters a lot. Patia psych, morale, na build even our league. Ndio tunaweza pia compete, tuseme tuambie Tanzania ni bana pia sisi ligi yetu tunaicheza kibingwa. Anyway, that is a free lesson. So still matters football. Now, the referees course, the young referees from the country underwent demanding fitness drills designed to prepare them for the physical intensity of modern football in the recently concluded FIFA My Young Referee course held in Nairobi. The 5-day program aimed to identify and develop promising referees through theory sessions, fitness work, and practical match stimulations with the aim of raising officiating standards and preparing officials for higher level competitions.
Leo tuko hapa na shughuli ya kutrain our young referees, and tuliongea na watu wa FIFA na tukaweza kuongea na FKF, NEC na secretariat, tukapanga hii course ya 5 days. FIFA amekubali akatutumia instructor Bwana Felix Tangwarima. Tumekuwa na course hii kwa siku 5 just to identify ile young talents, wale referees ambao wanachezea ligi zetu na miaka zao zinakubali, so that baadaye tunatafuta wale referees watachukua nafasi wakati wale referees tuko nao wataondoka.
I think this particular course is a very big development of the referees of Kenya. You see, because when we look at the young generation, we are actually preparing for their future. And when you look at the ages, these are referees who are quite young. And what we do in FIFA and CAF is that when we are actually developing referees, we want referees who can actually officiate at World Cup, at least 2 World Cups, or 3 or 4 Africa Cup of Nations. And when you look at this group, they can actually do that because they are still young. And when you go back to the course, it was a very intensive course for the referees, with 80% of the program being practicals. Practical on the field of play and practical in class. Why practicals? Because you find out the theory, if somebody misses something in theory, it has no impact on the result of the match. But if somebody misses something on the field of play, it will have a lot of, it has got an impact on the result of the match. I see great future in the refereeing of Kenya because of this group, the young generation. We say them the young talent, but these are the foundation of the next generation of Kenyan referees. And I can safely say that if we keep as Kenya, if we keep this group together, we are going to go very far.
The course has been very beneficial to the young referees who are invited for this very first young talent course. And I think they have left the course better than they came. And going forward, hopefully we can keep the same group and monitor their progress so that in 2 or 3 years' time we see them at the top competing with the rest of the referees.
These courses have been here for 5 days, and it has been an impactful days. Like I've learned a lot in terms of being fit, in terms of managing the game. We've been taught a lot. In the field, we've done various practical with the players and also some without the players. So we find that there are a lot that we have learned in terms of game management, in terms of anticipation during the match and the rest. We are looking up to some of the female referees like Mary Joroge and also Josephine. Like the work they are doing in the FIFA and the work they are doing, it's bring a lot of that courage that also women can do it. It's not about men, but also women can also do it when it comes to football.
It was a good session because there were incidents that were with the players. So they were doing it, and then you are supposed to give the decision, and if there's sanction that we are supposed to give, we are also doing the same. Yeah, so it has really been a good session because it has built mostly on our confidence, because most of us, we are a bit shaky on it, but once you are on the field of play, there's confidence, you are being explained on what you are supposed to do, especially for the center referees. Positioning and reading of the game, anticipation, imekuwa on top. We have...
Right, so that is one way of nurturing, or rather equipping young referees with skills, practical skills and theoretical skills, so that they can man the football affairs in the country from a level of understanding, be it the physical strength, the technicalities that is required, and in terms of skill-wise. And remember, they are very young referees from the age of 18 to 25. That was the target audience in that particular training. And they are now the future of officiating games. Should now the current crop of officials, should they hang their boots, then at least we know the future is secured. But this time around, the future is secured with well-equipped referees that are conversant with the technical terms and skills that is required to officiate very high-stake matches, not only in the country but even in the continent and of course on the global level. And that is it's a plus, and we should encourage such training. So much of emphasis should not be based on only the welfare of the coaches, the players, but even the technical aspect of it when it comes to now the level of management, because most of the time we have had complaints from players that the level of match officiating in the country is a little bit below the standard. But with the right procedure, equipment, and of course training like this, then that can help to elevate the level of the game and even the officiating that will be fair and objective, one that is based on knowledge and of course all areas of football, be it manning a high-stake match where tempers are high, in areas where probably you're not sure how to handle certain situation in the game. Now you have the equipment, you have the ability, and of course the power to handle such matches for a very young age, and that is a good one. And we should encourage more training, just to, and even encourage others, other upcoming referees to undertake such training and courses so that they can continue to build on their knowledge about the game, so that we can continue to grow our league, and of course even to grow our level of officiating, and to even see them in the top standard, the highest leagues, and of course the continental football and even international ones, because at the end of the day you aim higher, and of course the sky has never been the limit, and I don't think if it will ever be for someone who dare to dream. Anyway, so yani matters referee training, my young referee training course. So let's switch gears now to some Football Kenya Federation Premier League action. And now Kariobangi Sharks will open their 2025-2026 season with a clash against Bandari FC at 3 p.m. East Africa time at Kasarani Annex Stadium. That match is currently underway. In other fixtures lined up for today, FC Leopards will play host to Sofapaka at Ulinzi Complex Stadium, while Shabana FC will welcome the newbies APS Bomet at Gusii Stadium on Sunday. At the same time, Moranga Sales will play host to Ulinzi Stars at SportsPesa Arena as Gor Mahia begins their title hunt with a clash against Bidco United at Kasarani Stadium. All right, so that is the Football Kenya Federation Premier League matches lined up for this weekend. And now from Football Kenya Federation Premier League, or better known as now SportPesa League. Now let's switch gears to English Premier League. Now league leaders Liverpool will be hoping to continue with their winning streak when they play host to Everton. Remember, Liverpool leads right now in that Merseyside derby. It began at exactly 2:30 p.m. East Africa time. They are almost heading to their first half. Well, that match is currently underway, and of course we'll update you with the latest info as far as this English Premier League early kickoff is concerned. Now, in other fixtures lined up for this particular weekend in the English Premier League, Brighton Albion will be hoping to bounce back from last weekend's defeat when they welcome Tottenham Hotspurs at the American Express Stadium. At the same time, Crystal Palace will travel to London Stadium to take on West Ham United, who are under very much pressure as Manchester United host Chelsea at Old Trafford in the Battle of the Titans. On Sunday, Arsenal will play host to Pep Guardiola's led charge Manchester City at Emirates, among other fixtures lined up for this weekend. All right, so that is the EPL fixtures. And remember, today we have the big match, or rather the match of the day, and it will be actually the match of the weekend, the highlight of the weekend. Remember, this particular weekend we have two big matches. The first one will be played today. Manchester United will be playing host to Chelsea at Old Trafford at 7:30 p.m. East African time. Remember, this is a very two of the most fierce teams and great rivals with a lot of very tricky history between them. One team is really eager to bounce back from defeat and to make a statement. I remember they've already played against two big teams. They played against in their early openings. They played against Manchester United last weekend, and they were thoroughly beaten 3-0. This time round, they will be eager to avoid another defeat against Chelsea, and just to make their statement. And remember, Chelsea will be traveling to Old Trafford. This is a hostile community, a hostile host, and they have really struggled squeezing a win in this very hostile territory. The best they have done, at least in the last 10 encounters, is a draw. They this time round break the hoodoo and squeeze that 3 important points out of their very struggling enemies or opponent. Time will tell. On the other side, Manchester United are very eager and keen to make a statement, given the fact that they were beaten by their city rivals Manchester United 3-0 last weekend. They have had a whole week to train against a team that played on Wednesday their Champions League matches, and of course they played against Bayern Munich, and they were beaten 3-0. With that, the fatigue of traveling, with a lot of fixtures in between, will that play against their to their disadvantage, or they will use their squad depth to pose a very strong challenge? So those are some of the intrigue heading to this encounter between Manchester United and Chelsea. And of course, they say history sometimes don't lie. So do you think maybe Chelsea will get the better, or rather the best of Manchester United, or Manchester United will now wake up and of course hand Chelsea their first defeat this season? All right, so that is the biggest match of this day. And remember, on Sunday, Arsenal will welcome Manchester City at Emirates Stadium, another big one. And both teams will be playing for pride and of course dominance. Remember, two of the coaches that have worked together, Arteta and Pep Guardiola. Arteta was Pep Guardiola's assistant during his time at Manchester City. Now this time around they meet as managers, or rather coaches, of two of the most successful teams in the English Premier League. So it's just a matter of wait and see which team will be getting the better, or rather will be superior than the other. Remember, Manchester City, they have lost their first match, or they have already lost this particular season. Same case to Arsenal. They were beaten 1-0 against Liverpool, who until today they are yet to lose or drop a point. As we speak, Liverpool, they are playing against Everton in the Merseyside derby, and they lead 2-0. Now you can see hizo ndo matokeo kwa hivi sasa. But yes, we want to take a very short break. When we come back, we'll be diving deeper into this Matter Sports review, just to give you some analysis of these particular matches, what to expect. And of course, remember, we are keeping an eye on the World Athletics Championship in Tokyo. We have two finals that concerns us as Kenyans: the 500 meters finals, the 5,000 meters final for women, and then we have 800 meters finals for women. Still, Kenya is eyeing gold in that particular races. And of course, it's just a matter of time before now the kickoff, and of course results should be streaming in pretty fast. Remember, the 500 meters, the 5,000 meters women final, that race will begin, or rather will kick off at exactly 3:29 East African time. We have the likes of Faith Kipyegon, Beatrice Chebet all eyeing that crown. So will they actually be able to challenge that particular crown and bring it home? Will it be another fifth gold medal for Kenya, or even a sixth one? So stand by for that, and of course we'll keep on updating you on what is happening there at Tokyo. As far as the medal tally, how it looks, Kenya so far in the medal standings, wako wapi? Are they top? Or probably so far in Africa they are top. I think they are the only country when you may win so many medals so far in Africa. Our brothers, that is the Ethiopians, they're still struggling a bit. And of course, Botswana, so far they have one medal, that is in the 400 meters. And of course, some just intrigues. Some records have been broken, others set. And this is the beauty of athletics. It keeps on surprising us. Big names, big stars emerging, others claiming, others defending, others challenging the top guns, the predominant champions known for those who have ruled the jungle for quite a while. emerging stars coming and outshining the masters of the game. And that's what makes athletics very beautiful, attractive, and appealing. But first thing first, let's take this very short break. When we come back, it's matters athletics, football, and of course a bit of Champions League. Remember the first Champions League, the 2025-2026 season officially kicked off this particular week on Tuesday, Wednesday. How did your team fare on? Did you actually manage to win something, or you find it to be very friendly territories? I'm now talking to Chelsea fans. The assignment against that is Bayern Munich, a team yenye imekuwa ni very notorious in punishing Chelsea. Most of the time, like during there is a time Chelsea walikuwa wamependa sana kuwa paired with Bayern Munich and sometimes PSG, and most of the time ulikuwa ukiona tu fixture Chelsea Bayern, ulikuwa unajua hapa it's a 50-50 affairs. But on this particular week, well, for me, I think Chelsea kidogo waliogopa because the headline was they were beaten by more experienced team. So when you talk about experience, yes, Bayern Munich wamekuwa hapo for quite a while. Remember, Chelsea is now now a new pair of players, some whom have never played Champions League. That was their first time, and that is the majority of Chelsea's squad. So kama wewe ni Chelsea fan, you will forgive us for that, but of course kuna na room for improvement. At least tusha step, dip our feet on the waters. Now we see, tunajua the depth and we know how to navigate. So our next opponent, Benfica, Barcelona, will be ready for the challenge ahead, and of course tutaona venye mambo itaenda. But first thing first, let's take this very short break. When we come back, plenty more to follow.
Are you ready to take charge of your health? Welcome to Focus on Health, your weekly guide to staying informed and living better. Join me every week as I sit down with trusted medical experts.
Gynecology is basically a field concerned with mainly the female genitalia.
Explore real-life stories
during when the patient come in,
and bring you updates and tips that are beneficial to your health. Because health isn't just important, it is everything. Tune in to Focus on Health every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. only on KUTV. I'm your host, Kandia Marian, and I'll see you then.
A new era, a new people. This is the Law Matters Show. A program that brings you legal sensitization on your television.
My statement is written and just the quote the prosecution.
I think that this loss is a setback for Raila Odinga.
What policy recommendations were fronted by the candidate?
With diversity, we demystify important legal issues locally, regionally, and internationally.
What Tanzanians.
Join me, Elvin Onsongo, as I bring you more insights on law matters.
We are looking at social issues. What is the problem? Is it the economy? Is it...
Law Matters Show, creating awareness, advocacy, and enhancing lives.
Tunakukaribisha katika kipindi ukipendacho mitindo ya kipwani. Tunafanya maandalizi kabambe ya mapishi ya vyakula vya kipwani, samaki kambakochi.
Kwa majina naitwa Daniel Ombua. Mimi ni chef hapa North Coast Beach Hotel. Kwa leo nimewaandalia mapishi ya samaki yanayoitwa lobster. Kwa Kiswahili yanaitwa kambakochi.
Right, welcome back. Now this is the second segment of On the Sports Show. This is where we bring you up to speed with the latest in the world of football, athletics, rugby, and everything in between. And now talking about matters football, remember the Football Kenya Federation Premier League, bado nazoea, the SportPesa League officially kicked off yesterday, and of course the first match was against that is Tusker FC versus KCB, and Tusker were at home, and of course KCB won 2-0 against Tusker, and KCB have acquired the services of former Tusker FC head coach Robert Matano, who departed the club and joined Sofapaka, then signed for KCB. And KCB, I remember last season they finished third behind Kenya Police and Gor Mahia. And this time round, they really put a very spirited defense just to try and see if they can actually reclaim something out of this or to start on a strong footing. But unfortunately, things did not work in their favor. Remember, they have lost one of their prolific striker, that is Ryan Ogam, who have signed for Austrian-based side, and they have acquired the services of former player, that is Eric Kapaito, but his presence was not felt yesterday, given the experience and technicalities. But it was KCB who, at the end of the day, managed to walk away with 3 crucial points. And this is just the early kickoff, the early signs of the Kenya Premier League. We are not new to this, some sort of KCB setting a very high pace. But when the season hits the mid-season, then things kidogo inaanza kufumble. Now the normal traditions in tumezoea, like the real rearrangement of the league in terms of nani atakuwa wapi hivyo of the season, now we see. So this time round, same case to Tusker. The very start of the season inakuwa very slow, then as time goes by wanaanza kupick from there slowly by slowly. So that was the first match of the season, and of course today we have Kariobangi Sharks will be up against Bandari FC. So Bandari will be traveling to Nairobi to take on Kariobangi Sharks. I remember Bandari is another very strong team. Most of the time they are in the top 4 bracket, and this time round probably they'll be hoping now to transition into something probably great and even challenge for the title this time round. But they play to a very more determined Kariobangi Sharks side, and away to Kariobangi Sharks, their first opening match. And of course that match is currently underway. Remember, the kickoff was at exactly 3 p.m. East African time, and the second match of of the day is FC Leopards will be up against Sofapaka. Remember, this is the second match of the day in the Sport Pesa League, and of course today we only have two matches, and then tomorrow we have Shabana will be up against newly promoted side, that is APS Bomet. That match will be played at exactly 2 p.m. East African time at Gusii Stadium. Now Shabana FC, at the end of the season, they really put up a very spirited fight, and now this was the Shabana that we used to know during their time at the National Super League. They really posted impressive performance at the end of the season, and this time round, will they be able to keep up with the momentum? The caliber of the performance that we used to see from the Shabana FC side. I don't know if they'll be able to manage. Remember, this is a team that pride itself in a very rich and historical fan base. It's a team and their love for, I think Shabana's fans, their love for their club is just natural. They've been there through thick and thin, and of course there is a lot to learn from actually Shabana FC. This is a community-based team of which support yao pia ni very rich when it comes to how they really support their team in terms of psyche and of course momentum. Most of their home game, sometimes hata unaweza kosa a seat because the stadium is full to capacity. So that match will be played tomorrow, and they'll be playing against newbies APS Bomet. Then the match against Kariobangi, Kakamega Homeboys against another newbie, Nairobi United, has been postponed. Then the clash between Police FC and Mara Sugar has also been postponed because Police FC, they have continental assignment, so they are preparing for that. Then Murang'a Seals now will take on Ulinzi Stars at Sports Pesa Arena. This is their first match of the campaign this particular season, the 2025-2026 season. Remember both Murang'a Seals last season waliponea chupu. There were teams that were battling the relegation battle, but to some extent waka manage to stay in the league. Then still tomorrow, Gor Mahia will play against another team that escaped relegation battle last season, that is Bidco United. Remember, Gor Mahia, they lost to Nairobi United in the Football Kenya Federation Cup. Remember, the winner of this particular tournament, huyu ndiye alikuwa anafaa kurepresent the country in the continental affair. Now this is the Europa League version of Africa. Remember, we have the CAF Champions League, yenye Kenya Police inacheza. Then now the CAF Confederation Cup, that is the equivalent version of Europa League. Now the winner of CAF, or rather let's say Mozart Bet Cup, the winner ndo alikuwa anafaa kuicheza to represent the country in that. So those who will be representing the country in that particular match will be the Nairobi United, who beat Gor Mahia in the finals to at least carry the Kenyan flag in that continental assignment. So those are the matches, the Football Kenya Federation Premier League matches lined up for this particular weekend. A couple of matches have been postponed, but as far as this particular the start of this season, those are the fixtures to look out for, and of course we'll be updating you on what to expect, and of course just your anticipation to this new season. Moving on, we have seen a lot of signings, especially from Gor Mahia. Remember last season they had a very bad campaign, losing the league to Kenya Police, the Mozart Bet Cup to Nairobi United. This is a team that back then was playing in the National Super League, and of course a defeat to Nairobi United really summed a very bad season for Gor Mahia, the record Kenya Premier League champions, and they head now to go back to the drawing board. And this time around, they have really signed a lot of players, especially those who played for the Chan Championship, the 2024 Chan Championship. A lot of players, Gor Mahia really targeted them, and this time round, we'll just wait to see if the signings will reflect and, of course, help the club to reclaim their lost glory and at least try to usher in some sort of hope, given the kind of dominance and, of course, the challenge that Kenya Police really posted last season. So it's a new dawn for each team. We're just waiting to see how the league will unfold as even we kick off the new season, the 2025-2026 season officially. All right, so Ioni matters Kenya football. Now, I think it's a fair one. Now, if you can transition now to the Champions League. Remember, this particular week, tumekuwa na a lot of matches in the Champions League, big teams, and of course, a lot of, this time around, kukuwa na a lot of surprises because many teams, well, actually lived up to the expectations, apart from few. And of course, the first one, when they had to struggle for that win, was Arsenal, who are playing against Atletico Bilbao, the Spanish side. And of course, Arsenal won in that one, in that match. And of course, they still have a very tough fixtures moving on. I think in that same line, they'll still have to play the likes of Bayern Munich in that regard. Same case, Bayern Munich was Chelsea's opponent. And I remember Chelsea played against Bayern Munich and they lost 3-1 in that regard. And it shows you now where you really need to work on. Because when you look at the Chelsea vs Bayern Munich game, clearly ulikuwa una feel like the Chelsea players, it's like waliogopa kucheza. It's like the environment was so new to them, and they forgot that only the world champion, and ikakuwa like making a lot of mistakes, because the first goal, on goal, the second one, it was a penalty, third one, very silly mistake. So if you ask me, kama Chelsea wangejipanga vizuri, then your game probably ingeisha 1-0, or maybe worst case scenario a 1-1. But kuna pia bao ya Chelsea ilikataliwa, a very classic one from Cole Palmer, but but it's fine. It's fine, but at least that is a wake-up call for Chelsea, something to take home and to learn. And the Champions League, they have to embrace the moment. It doesn't matter kama 80% of the squad hawajaicheza, wako very inexperienced in Champions League, but there is always a first time for everything, time to learn. So my quick analysis of that particular match was that Chelsea wangekilled the game in a very early stages, because they wasted a lot of chances. They made very silly mistakes during that particular match. And for me, I think it's something that they can avoid. And as they wait to now play Benfica, let me give you Chelsea fixtures in that regard. They'll be playing against Benfica. Benfica, there is a new sheriff in town, former Chelsea coach, Jose Mourinho, former Manchester United coach, former AC Roma coach, former Tottenham Hotspurs coach, former Fenerbahce, or immediate former Fenerbahce coach. Jose Mourinho na ametembea. But he takes over Benfica. Benfica will be traveling to Stamford Bridge to take on Chelsea in their second match of UEFA Champions League. Maybe that will be now the moment of awakening, and maybe sasa Chelsea is a bounce back. But the beauty of this is a league of some sort of format. So if you lose your first match, work hard, win your second one, uendelee hivyo hivyo. The point ni, this is a league. So from there, the top teams, the top 8 teams ndo sasa ita proceed. But you need to be on a safer side for you now to avoid relegation or a playoff. Remember the defending champions PSG, ilibidi waende playoffs. Walianza vibaya, wakamaliza vizuri. Pondo wazungu wanasema the end justifies the means. But you can begin, unaanza tu beautiful na umalize beautiful, so that your story pia ikiwa written ikuwe like a smooth one. Venye wazungu wanasema unazaliwa na silver spoon. It's not a story of grass to grace. So there is beauty in winning all of your matches or playing beautiful football and winning all the way. But pia kuna because people like very crafted stories. Mtu alianza kwa shida akamaliza sawa. Sijui kama na predict hivyo ndo mambo itakuwa for some of the teams, but ni heri upoteze mapema, learn your mistakes at a very early stage than upost a very impressive performance at the very early stages, then ikifika the mid season, or rather during this particular competition, as even the competition stretches out, ndo unaanza sasa some of your weakness inaanza kwa portray. So the momentum ina switch off completely, alafu sasa una end up ukipigwa, watu wana master your game. So it's better you make those mistakes saa easy, then as you progress una learn from them one at a time. So sometimes pia losing is not bad. It's a awakening call for some of the teams, and that is the most important thing that maybe most teams wanna forward learn from there. The beginning of the journey and of course the ending of the journey is very important. If you can do it Manchester City way, fair enough. You can do it the PSG way, fair enough. The most important thing is your finishing power. Lazima ikuwe very strong as you head out. So in this particular manner, then the first matches of the UEFA Champions League, and of course in this particular format, Chelsea fixtures in this one, so that you can see how your team is faring on in this particular UEFA Champions League, and uone kama really you fancy your chances of progressing to the round of the best round of 8 to the knockout. So the first match in the Champions League against their opponent, Chelsea played against Bayern Munich. Then the next one will be against Benfica. Then they'll be playing against Barcelona, another tricky opponent, team that played against Newcastle United, and they won 2-1. So kibarua bado iko, and of course bado Chelsea will play against Napoli. So it's a pool of death. But there is another team, they'll play still against Paphos. I think this is a team from Greece. So then after there, then they'll play against Napoli. Then we have Barcelona, then Benfica in that particular line. So those are just some of the fixtures in that particular order in the Champions League. And of course, you can see how will your team will be faring on based on this. The performance of the team depends on how well you manage these matches. So remember, you'll be playing midweek, and of course you have weekends. So it's all about the squad balance, the depth of their squad lina matter a lot. Do you have team A that is equally, or rather team B that is equally strong to team A? Because at one point rotation lazima ita work. So kama a team that last season Arsenal really suffered because hawakuwa na what we call squad depth. This time round, I think they learned the lesson, wakaenda wakanunua a lot of players, same case, so that at the end of the day, at some point, fatigue will chip in and players will get tired and will need fresh legs. So that is the game changer, and that is the difference between a winning team and a losing team. So those small details really matters. All right. So from Champions League, sasa let's switch gears now to the English Premier League. I know we have a lot of fixtures for this particular weekend, and of course, remember the early kickoff. Liverpool versus Everton, and Liverpool still leads. Actually, it's 2-1. Remember Liverpool. The first goal for Liverpool was scored by Gravenberch. Then Hugo Ekitike scored the second one for Liverpool. And of course, Everton has managed to pull one back. Remember, the match is still underway this time. It's 58 minutes. So we still have a couple of minutes before the final whistle. And of course, hapo ndo sasa tutajua mbechi na mbevu venye mambo itaenda. So in today's fixtures that will be played at 5 p.m, we have Burnley will be up against Nottingham Forest. You remember Burnley, they put up a very spirited fight against Liverpool until the very last minute. The Liverpool managed to squeeze a win. So Burnley pia wana prove to be a very stubborn team. We'll remember them during their days in the English Premier League. They were really a stubborn team to beat back then. So this time round they will be playing against Nottingham Forest. Remember, this is a newly promoted team. And of course, another fixture lined up for today, we have Brighton Albion will be up against Tottenham Hotspurs. Tottenham is another team that is really playing a very impressive football, beating the likes of Manchester City. And of course, tomorrow, like the way they are playing, but so far they have only lost one game, and they'll be playing against Brighton Albion. Remember, this Brighton is a team that beat Manchester City 2-1. So will they probably upset Tottenham? It will be another different story for Tottenham Hotspurs. Then we have the London derby between West Ham and Crystal Palace. So Crystal Palace will be traveling to London Stadium to face West Ham United. West Ham United is under a lot of pressure, especially the coach, that is Graham Potter. Remember, he has not really posted some positive results, and of course he's under a lot of pressure to live up to the expectation. Graham Potter was former Chelsea head coach who was sacked midway because of failing to meet up to the expectation, but he had a very impressive stint at Brighton Albion. This is where Chelsea really spotted his potential, and they brought him to Stamford Bridge with the aim of maybe now with a club with money. And of course, the expectations of management, of Chelsea management, was that with the caliber and the culture of the club, with the financial muscles and of course resources available, Graham Potter will be able to transform Chelsea into a winning machine. Unfortunately, that dream did not materialize, and he had to part ways with the club. And after being sacked with Chelsea, he landed a job at West Ham United, another London-based outfit. But unfortunately, as things stands, he is really struggling, and there is a lot of pressure for him. But it is too early to say that he's struggling. But you know, football sometimes is not fair. He'll be judged based on performance, and theatrics like give him time sometimes don't really work for some of the clubs. And that is the reality of football anyway. Another fixture lined up for today, we have Wolves will be up against Leeds United. Then we have the big match of the day, Manchester United against Chelsea. Remember, Chelsea will be traveling to Old Trafford to take on the Ruben Amorim-led charge, Manchester United. This is their first match this particular season, the 2025-2026. Both teams will be eager to bounce back from defeat. Remember, Chelsea in their last match in the English Premier League, they drew against Brentford. They were beaten 3-1 against Bayern Munich in the UEFA Champions League. So they really need to make a strong statement. Same case to Manchester United, who lost to their city rivals Manchester City. They'll be eager for a 3-point. And remember, they are at home at Trafford. This is where Chelsea have really struggled and find it very difficult to actually win a match at Old Trafford. So will they break the hoodoo this time round? Will they walk away with 3 points? It's just a matter of time to see if indeed they can be able to manage something and of course walk away with all 3 points. And that match will be played at exactly 7:30 East African time, 7:30 p.m. That is East Africa time. Then the match of the day, the last match of the day will be Fulham against Brentford. That match will be played at 10 p.m. East African time. So Brentford will be traveling to Craven Cottage for that crucial encounter. Then tomorrow we have the newbies, the newly promoted side, Sunderland against Aston Villa. Then another match will see Bournemouth take on Newcastle United. Remember, Newcastle still will be eager to make a statement after the setback in the English Premier, not in the UEFA Champions League, when they welcome Barcelona at St. James Park, and they'll be wanting to actually bounce back and make a statement when they take on Bournemouth. Then the last match of this particular weekend, that is on Sunday tomorrow, Arsenal will play host to Manchester City at Emirates Stadium. This is the highlight of the week and of course the highlight of tomorrow's match, Arsenal vs Manchester City. These are two of the most decorated English Premier League teams, Arsenal vs Manchester City, and I think it's very hard to say which team will actually win, because for this it can be decided by the slimmest of margin. And in football, like we always say, a team that makes a few mistakes and of course a team that capitalizes on their opponent's mistakes is the one that most of the time carries the day. So it is in terms of structure, they are very strong teams with a well-trained coach that knows each other very well. I remember they have worked together, and of course Pep Guardiola will be very keen to actually make a statement, and after winning against Manchester United, a win against Arsenal will actually cement or stamp their authority as one of the most decorated team and very dominant team, at least for the last 7 seasons in a row. And a win against Arsenal will give in some sort of a relief, especially to a very turbulent season last season, and of course a shaky one, especially a loss to Brighton, which really to some extent shook and of course threatened their title credential. And for now, it's very early to say or even to predict which team will actually challenge for the title, but you need all the 3 points, which is very crucial for any team that really wants to lift the 2025-2026 title and to challenge the league leaders Liverpool in that. Same case to Arsenal, who have played second best for 3 seasons in a row. This time round, the at least the least that they can expect is at least to win the title after chasing it for 3 consecutive seasons and coming second best. So a win against Manchester United at Emirates will cement and of course stamp the authority as genuine title contenders and cement their title credential, especially after suffering a very early setback against league leaders Liverpool. So it's just a matter of playing your cards pretty well and seeing where you can actually punish your opponent. And these two teams, in fairness, I think anything can happen. Even a draw is still very much on the card. So it depends with how you package yourself, how you defend, and of course how you attack when it comes to the way you control games. So this time round, at least for this, the last 3 games, I'm not really convinced about the qualities of these two teams, especially Arsenal and of course Manchester City when it comes to, you know, breaking a very high tempo. Yes, Arsenal, they are playing a very defensive game. They know this time round they are playing, they are defending well, and they are conceding just fewer goals. It's a team that I think they have really conceded just few. Liverpool setback was, I think, one of the worst case scenario for them. So this is a team that is really defending very well, and they're really trying also to attack. That's why they brought in some sort of reinforcement, and of course they've already signed the likes of Victor Gyökeres, but they are also playing against a team that has one of the most lethal striker in the name of Erling Haaland, a team that likes to control the tempo of the game, especially when it comes to the midfield and breaking the defense high end up when it comes now to breaking even the ties sometimes by controlling the game and trying to find some spaces in between defenders. So it's a game of mindset and mentality when it comes to this. And at the end of the day, it's just the game will be won by a few margin, and ni inategemea umekaaje na nani ata make few mistakes. So it's a big game between Arsenal and Manchester City, one that a draw bado iko tu sawa, because at the end of the day for this one tunaweza taka timu zote zipoteze, lakini ni impossible. There can only be a winner and a loser, but a draw is just a win for some. Anyway, so those are the English Premier League fixtures for this particular weekend, and of course in the early kickoff for the English Premier League. Remember, it's 71 minutes and we still Liverpool still leads 2-1 against Everton in the Merseyside derby. Remember, Liverpool are unbeaten so far, and of course they have not conceded, and I mean they are unbeaten and they have not dropped any points so far. This is the only team in tunaweza sema so far may win all of their matches, and currently wao ndo lead the league, and of course they are the defending champions. Wamefanya a lot of reinforcement, bringing in the likes of Isak Hassan, Hugo Ekitike, Florian Wirtz. So this is a team this time like they mean business this time round. Salah is still flying high, scoring and contributing goals, and for sure this is the team to beat. All right, so I think our time is up, and we've come to the end of our sports show. Many thanks for the men and women behind the scene, and for esteemed viewers, and for all those who made this production a success. A big salute to all of you. So let's do this next time, same place, same time, by the grace of God. But until then, do have a lovely weekend and enjoy the rest of your viewing.